Wellstrong is 48 hours in recovery. Wellstrong Studio, 6 Alphonse Street in Falmouth, and online at wellstrong.org. Thanks very much to Wellstrong for making Recovery Radio possible, and thanks to you for listening to 90.7 WKKL. There'll be a brief pause while I hand the microphone, quite literally, to Chris Hills.
And we're back. And that was a very brief pause. And you are listening to Recovery Radio. And I do have the Get Better crew. I'm liking that more and more as I say it. The Get Better crew. Justin and Jeff are here today. Two guys I admire that are in the recovery community. Also, as a profession, you guys help a tremendous amount of people. So you see a lot of people, coming out of recovery, getting some of those feelings back. I've been numbing myself for so long. We got a great topic going on. Justin came up with it. We'll give him a little credit there. Jeff, what do you think? Is that okay?
Oh,
he won't get too big on.
Validate me.
That's what we're doing right now. We're giving him a little validation. We're giving him a little props, but validation's big. It's huge. We were talking about it. How our first topic with the Get Better crew was self-worth.
That's right.
I think it starts there. It's got to, doesn't it? I mean, we've felt so long. You talk about the bat. That's the inside voice going, "You blew it this time, buddy. Like you'll never be anything. You're a scumbag. You stole. You lied. You cheated. Now all of a sudden we get clean. There's no more drugs and alcohol to numb those feelings. So we got to start from square one again. And like we said, Jeff. First of all, put down the bat. Understand that we're human beings. We make mistakes. That was yesterday. What are we going to do about it today so that our tomorrows are a little better? Justin, you got out of recovery, as did all three of us here. Day one is what? Like, where do I start and how do I even understand about validation and how to get there and what are some of the things I love what you said, start with you just stay clean for 24 hours. You catch a good feeling.
We say it at every 12-step meeting. First and most important, first day, first 24 hours. It's the first point in your life where you've actually done anything truly successful. I don't care about all the external things that you might perceive as success.
Right.
Most successful thing I've ever done is not use a substance. And I honestly say
For
that.
one day.
For one day at a time. Because nothing else I have in my life today I would have if it weren't for the fact that I was able to be successful for that first day.
Yeah.
Because then I was able to stack the second day. Then I was able to stack the third day.
That's right.
And thank God the fact that I'm able to stack enough of them together. I'm at a place in my life where I don't need to be validated by external influences because the internal solution is here within inside myself, and I allow myself to see that on a daily basis where I'm able to fly and allow the eagle to fly and the phoenix to fly, and I can soar, and I can live life without the use of a substance, and I can be the most successful version of myself I can be.
Somebody is
on,
soaring
Jay.
right now.
Come on,
like
Jay.
that. That's the type of talk we need to hear in the recovery community. The fact that put it down and start to be what the three doors down was saying. Let me be myself.
Yeah,
right.
Find out about yourself. Jeff, you see it coming out all the time. I know both of you do. It's tough for somebody to believe in themselves at that
Right.
point on day one. But you catch a good feeling putting it down day one. I see a lot of people into the halls too, in the recovery community, and they're like, "Whoo, I feel so good, and I got this now," and that tends to level off a little bit. And,
Right.
what are some of the important things as you stack day 3 and day 4 and start to feel good about life and
Well, I tell people all the time, and we talk about it in the program, how we try to fan the flame of desire to want to stay in recovery, want to stay clean. But just like any fire, it's blazing. We're in the beginning of recovery, we're getting a day, 2 days, 3 days. We're starting to accumulate some things, and then all of a sudden that fire starts to dim out. And just it's our responsibility to throw some logs on the fire to keep it going.
I like that responsibility to throw the logs on the fire. What are some logs that you should be looking for? The metaphor, obviously.
Good people.
Good people.
Finding a sponsor.
Yeah.
Having some. Doing some step work. Doing something different. Doing the unnorm. Because again, walking, like Justin said, was walking through that field. It's very fearful and uncomfortable for me.
Yes.
For me to raise my hand and talk to somebody and talk about what's going on with me and I smell I haven't had a shower in days. All these different things that that we go through when we first get clean. I didn't shower. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't do any of those things,
we,
you know.
We noticed that earlier today.
My dude.
We'll get on that. I know there's some recovery for you there, but
My dude busting shots.
we're obviously we're joking because we laugh. We laugh in recovery now.
We need that.
We do.
That's something I tell my clients at work and everybody in the recovery community. I was like, listen, we have fun.
Yes.
And that's something when I was in treatment that was very huge for me. That's something like I realized for the first time, I was like, I can have fun without a substance, without any substance.
You can have the whole life without it.
Right.
It's
like I don't need a drink or anything to be able to get out on the dance floor and get my J Boogie on. Like we can do that. We can do that.
J Boogie.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Trademarked by Jeff Rose. Come on.
Well, that's absolutely right. I was out dancing myself, and some people say they can't dance as good, but
that's all in your head. That's
right here.
Right. That's the lie that we tell ourselves.
Funny. He's thinking he wants a little validation on the dance moves from me. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'll take your word for it.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
validate that.
Thank you, brother. Someday you'll get a chance.
Oh, boy.
We'll get out there and break it out.
Ooh, come on, Chris.
But that's important. What we're talking about, like we can have that full life. I think we validate that. You know what? Life is going to suck without drugs and alcohol.
Right. We tell ourselves that.
What do you got, Justin?
Well, what Jeff was saying, how we fan the flame of desire, right? And like one of my favorite forms of validation is being provoked.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like we share from the heart to touch the heart, but like I gotta share some stuff to not only provoke others, but to provoke myself, to validate the fact that like I have to keep growing in this process. I can't just allow myself to get stagnant and not keep growing and not like provoke myself some more to be able to like get to a place at the end of the day where when I put my head down on the pillow, like I'm validated that like today's another day clean, it's another good day.
And it was potentially the best day I've ever had.
Yeah, and it's all because like when I was feeling low those days and like things weren't going well, somebody provoked me and pushed me in a way that like I wasn't willing to go or open-minded to see at that point. But like honestly, it's the best thing that for me. Like we were talking about it, like if I don't have the fan flamed by somebody else, I'm not gonna be able to do it myself. So others pick me up when I can't pick myself up.
Yeah.
Come on.
And we need that too. And Jeff was talking about it earlier. When I got this brilliant idea, I need some people around me to kind of let me see some of the other things because people perceive me, I know, a lot differently than I perceive myself.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to have some validation from people you admire. I mean, you don't want to ask your drug dealer if you think this is a good time to stop using when you're a valuable source of income to him.
Especially after payday.
Right. But you have somebody that's sober, clean and sober, like the three of us or people that are in the recovery community, they can validate there is a beautiful life on the other side where you don't have to use, drink, drug, lie, cheat, and steal your way through life, So early on, we're talking about validation, getting honest with yourself. You start to stack a couple days, fan the flame. And I love what you said about uncomfortable.
Right.
I know if I'm doing the right thing and I'm uncomfortable in a process, 99% of the time I'm spiritually growing.
Right. That's what my sponsor told me very early on, Chris. He said, Jeff, if you want to change, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Because comfortability for me, and it's always been, is the craziness, you know what I mean? To get screamed at, to steal from somebody, all these different things. And and just because we get clean and just because we put down the drugs doesn't mean the disease of addiction isn't, still working in our lives. And for anybody that's listening out there and we're talking about validation, I don't want anybody, don't get upset, don't hate. Now check it out. Now me and my wife have been together for going on 7 years now. We've been married 15 days, but we've been together for, almost 7 years now. And I make love to my wife almost every single night. Almost on Mondays, almost on Tuesdays, almost on Wednesdays, almost on Thursdays, almost. And we have good intentions and everything, you know what I mean? And
right.
And that would be cool for a normal person, but my whole entire life, sex has forcefully validated my life because I thought if you had sex with me, that means that you love me. And I get this euphoric feeling. It's kind of like when we put down the drugs in the beginning, our disease is okay, we're not using the drugs, I know how to get instant gratification, and that's through sex, and that's something that it's a very dangerous, sticky place, no pun intended, but you go through, yeah, it is.
Right?
No, it is because, someone told me this very, very early on. He said, Jeff, when two people lay down, someone always gets up with feelings. And whether you think, and as a man, right? Because we're men right here,
Right.
like we always think it's going to be her. Oh, it's, I'm not going to catch feelings. It's always her, whatever, until all of a sudden she's not picking up the phone call. I'm like, oh my God, please, baby, come back. I can change. I can do whatever you want. Like, please. And it's when you're dealing with addicts and like someone's not going to be able to handle the pain that comes with it because all of a sudden someone takes a step back from it. It's like people could die all because you wanted this innocent little thing or whatever where your disease is manifest and stuff like, oh, I just want to have sex. But someone might not be able to handle the pain from that. And then all of a sudden they lose their life. And then where does that leave you if it's the other person? Now someone just died. And listen, and for anybody that's listening, like we don't have that control over anybody. Like we can't unless you physically like put drugs into someone's body, like we don't have that control over them. But you can't help but feel responsible if that were to happen.
Jeff, you're touching on a major important subject, especially, the sex, but the relationships come with sex. It's a big part of a lot of people's recovery because we tend to get the most validation from our partner.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I feel some kind of way because you looked at me a little funny, so therefore I must be on the wrong side of you. So in my mind, I'm going through 100 different things like that. You don't like me anymore? What did I do wrong? Oh my God,
Right, you tell yourself the lie, and all of a sudden the girl at the meeting winked at me on Monday night, and now all of a sudden my response is like, always check your motives. Like, I want to dress good because I feel good inside. I want my insides to match my outsides, but in the beginning there, like, a girl winked at me at the meeting or whatever, I'm dressing up because, my motives are completely wrong, and I want to, holler at the girl and get a number, right? But now when I dress up and I look good, it's because I want my outsides to match my inside. Like, I'm not dressing up the trash can anymore because I've done some work on myself and realized, like, I'm worth it. My self-worth is through the roof because I know my worth today. At the beginning, and like how we talked about the last time we were on the show, talking about self-worth, like, I didn't have that at first. That took time for me to be able to build that up and, I don't need to be treated any certain type of way because, I'm important.
Exactly. And herein is the importance of the addict in recovery, building up more of that self-esteem, building up that self-worth so it doesn't take us out. I think one of the biggest validations is that relationship, and how important it is and how rocky it is in the beginning where somebody could say one wrong thing and, oh my God, she doesn't like me. Therefore, there's no woman in the world that would like me because this person doesn't. And we start to tell ourselves those lies, I like, Justin, what you said earlier on about, the external stuff is kind of dissipated a bit because the internal stuff is taken over. Can you explain that a little bit more? And I know you're in a relationship that's little more than, should we call it serious?
Yeah, we're pretty serious.
Okay.
Absolutely.
She must be listening, right?
We're absolutely serious.
Okay, good. Talk about the difference between the external and the internal validation.
So, our culture as a whole, right? We have a massive issue. This isn't an addict and alcoholic thing. This is a cultural thing. Mm-hmm. iPhone just came out. Oh, we got to get that. Makes us feel good. Makes us feel like, hey, we're the next important thing because we just got the iPhone on the day it came out. How does that validate anything? If anything, it tells you that your bank account's a lot less than it was the day before. That is validating the shit out of you. You're broke now because you bought that, right? But
you said poop, right?
Yeah, I said poop.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing, right? I can buy things, I can have the cool stuff, but when you are with yourself and by yourself, thinking about yourself, how do you feel about yourself?
Oof, that's a big one.
You know what I mean?
And now it's the core. We're right at the core of recovery.
Yeah.
How do you feel about yourself right now?
And the thing is, nobody can validate me more than I can validate myself.
That's right, Jay.
In a positive and negative manner, right? My partner, she validates me because I feel good because I love that woman, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's because I know that I'm being the best version of myself I can be, and she deserves me as a result of me putting that work in, right? Just as if I deserve her in return. And it has nothing to do with the fact that we go on cool vacations, we do X, Y, and Z, or buy a house, whatever it is, right? It's the fact that we each put the work in and we each are committed to life in a certain way where the validation just comes naturally. You don't have to go and do these extravagant things, even though I do go do these extravagant things. it's the fact that, like, at the end of the day, like, I'd be okay if we're living in a cardboard box.
Yeah, actually, I got a great story I'll tell some other time about my father, who was a recovering alcoholic, actually lived in a cardboard box for a little bit of the time, and shared that story with us. But anyways, did you say you bought a house?
We're working towards that, yeah.
Wow. Did you think that was happening when you were, knee deep in your addiction?
No.
Would you say a lot of dreams come true?
Lost dreams awaken, new possibilities arise.
Oh.
Come on, Jay.
One more time.
Lost dreams awaken.
New possibilities arise.
That's right.
Wow. Lost dreams awaken. That's Naomi clapping the back. That was profound to me. I've never heard it. One, in harmony, which was very talented right there for the Get Better crew. And then two, just putting in lost dreams. How many times did we sit at the bar or, spend our paycheck and it would be like, next week it's going to be different. I'm going to do it this way, and we'll co-sign the BS because nothing's changing, right? Nothing's changing until, one, we got to have that gift of desperation, and then two, we start to, feel, okay, something's going to happen, and there's less people that more and more than actually have that courage to change, and that's the difference between living and dying.
Right.
That's why we're here. That's why we're taking the time out on a Sunday to, get on the air and share some of these things. If you're home, if you're listening, how do you feel about yourself right now? And the Get Better crew says, validate some feelings, get involved in a recovery community so that you can share some of these things. And when you share, somebody else picks up. It's a big revolving, spindle that we have, and then wellness starts to enter your life.
I just want to say something real quick before we take a commercial. You kind of just touched on something. It's like you don't know when we're in recovery, like how many people are going to touch. And a Chinese prophet once said, you can count the seeds in the apple, but you can't count how many apples are in the seeds. And what I mean by that is, like, I helped Justin. There's no telling how many men he's about to help, and there's no telling how many men they're about to help. You know what I mean? And that's how this thing works. We try to do our best. We're fighting a losing battle, but that doesn't mean like I'm not going to get back out there and keep trying to fight the war. I got to keep doing what I need to do because that's somebody's mother, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's uncle. And like I know the pain that comes from losing somebody, and like I don't want to lose anymore, and I don't want the people out there, whoever you are, doesn't matter if I know you, if I don't know you, to lose a loved one because it's painful.
Very. Probably one of the more painful things that are out there, because that's it. The party's over. Mm-hmm. There is no going back and, telling them that, hey, you know what, I really did love you, or hey, I'm sorry that it ended this way, or, especially the addict that goes out, that leaves parents and siblings, to be like, wow, it could have been different, some other way. This is a life or death stuff we're talking about.
Right.
We laugh, we joke, but we got some real weight and depth in this subject matter. We got another song coming up. I think we got a little Macklemore because somebody was at Recovery Fest.
That's right.
We've been talking about it a couple of months. It did happen yesterday. Jeff and I weren't unable to go, but Justin, he did go. We're going to hear all about it when we come back. But Macklemore headlined, is that true?
That is very true.
And it was a great day?
It was amazing.
It was amazing. So amazing stuff happens in recovery. All right. Naomi, I'm going to hand it over to you. You got a little Macklemore coming. When we come back, we're going to hear all about Recovery Fest and the beauty that's in the recovery community.
Oh, yeah. Remember, as you listen to Macklemore, please, that support for Recovery Radio on WKKL comes from Wellstrong in Falmouth. Wellstrong offers fitness and wellness resources for anyone in recovery. The only requirement, you listening? There's one requirement.
What is it, Naomi?
For membership at Wellstrong is 48 hours in recovery. Wellstrong Studio, 6 Alphonse Street in Falmouth, and online at wellstrong.org. Thanks to Wellstrong for making Recovery Radio possible. Thanks to you for listening. And thanks to Macklemore, who created the song we're about to hear, Drug Dealer, about his own personal experiences.
Hi, Macklemore.
Alexa, play morning music.
And you know how the internet goes. I skipped the ad once, but there it is again.